Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Lewis once again checking in back in with yet another video. And the reason that I wanted to do this video is because I have to talk about what I just read on Bleacher Report concerning Kevin Durant when he talks about the issue on playing with LeBron James. Before I continue doing this video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, make sure you get that notification bell. Make sure the notification bell is turned on for any content that I decide to give. And I hope you do enjoy this video. So, I was just having a glass of water. And I'm looking on Bleacher Report, I get the notification on my phone. And I noticed that Kevin Durant had an interview with Bleacher Report, and they were asking on the issue playing with LeBron James. And Kevin Durant says, and I quote, Golden State Warrior, 9-time All-Star Kevin Durant talks about the issue on playing with LeBron James. He literally says that you got people in the media that are groupies. You have people in the media that are fanboys of LeBron James. And the problem is that when you play with LeBron James, you're casting his shadow because of what the media always implies on you. So in other words, if you play with him and you don't play well, it's going to be LeBron did not have enough help. If you play with him and you do an incredible job, it's going to be LeBron is the reason why this guy was able to play at the level that he played at. In other words, LeBron's going to get the credit no matter how well you do. You can have a 50-point game, and the media groupies are going to say, it's because of LeBron that Kevin Durant was able to play that great, or any other player that plays with LeBron is the reason that he plays great. And that in an environment playing with LeBron James is pretty toxic because you have to deal with the fact that LeBron has his media darlings. And again, and even Kevin Durant said this, he said that this is not LeBron's fault. And I agree with him. Kevin Durant is right about that. And the problem is that, again, we say this time and time again. And this is why in one part I get mad at LeBron about this. Because the media is the reason why people don't like him. It's not just the fact that you have, that LeBron has done some things that, on the court that just make you seem like, man, this guy at times doesn't display GOAT behavior. I mean, it's like some of the great players that have ever played have done things that you just kind of scratch your head and be like, yo, that's not how I remember him playing. But the problem is the media continuously just praises him. And it's like, it's all about worship. And here's the thing. I'm a fan of NBA players, but by no means am I going to be worshiping worship. Once you worship, it's pretty toxic. It's toxic. Because then what happens is all of a sudden, it's like you have all this energy to defend that player at like any cost. He could do something wrong, and it's like, no, he didn't do anything. No, curtain to a blind eye. No, I didn't see anything. And Kevin Durant literally said, man, playing with LeBron is a very toxic environment because you have to deal with so many things. You have to deal with the blame. You have to deal with being a scapegoat. You have to deal with why is it that LeBron isn't being catered to his needs. So it's like now LeBron is the only player that has special needs, but it's like nobody else on the team really matters. And that's the problem. I mean, let's look at the history. We talk about, LeBron playing with Wade and Bosh. People need to stop right now. No matter which way you want to slice it, people are downplaying, talking about how Wade was in his decline, Wade was this and Wade was that, and Chris Bosh was overrated. I don't see how you can overrate a player that was a 6-time All-Star and a Finals MVP in Dwayne Wade prior for him and LeBron joining. And in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, when him, Bosh, and Wade played together, you can make a case that Dwayne Wade was the best player in those Olympics. And Wade already made 6 All-Star teams. Chris Bosh, 5-time All-Star. I don't know how people continue to say he's overrated when he averaged 24 points and 10.8 rebounds in the 2010 season, the year before he joined LeBron, on top of the fact that Chris Bosh was a 5-time All-Star. I don't know how you overrate Chris Bosh when he made 5 All-Star teams. So, I don't know. Led the Raptors to a 47-win season in the division, 3 seed. I mean, I mean, he did something. What? And LeBron joined them, and what was happening? It was Wade was a shell of himself, but at the time, you have to understand, at the time, no one had ever heard of three prime players playing at the same time on one team. It was just unheard of. It was unheard of. So it was something brand new. And so what happened is that Chris Bosh ended up being the biggest scapegoat, because what happened was he played center. He was shooting more threes. And the problem is, again, you have to understand, when you play with LeBron, the lanes cannot be clogged up. You need to space the floor, because LeBron only knows how to play one style. Okay? This isn't me bashing LeBron. It's just, this is the way his game is. Simple as that. And I didn't like the fact that Chris Bosh had gotten so much backlash. And Chris Bosh has said it on many occasions that when you play with LeBron, if you play a certain spot, if you're a power forward and you're known to be having a back to the basket or a face-up game, you have to be at the three-point line, because you need to space the floor so that there are driving lanes for LeBron to drive. And then people continuously be like, oh, when LeBron leaves, look at the team. They struggle. They don't make the playoffs. Okay. 2010. LeBron leaves to South Beach. Oh, look, they were a lottery team. There were 7 players that left that team. That team was not the same team. Only Mo Williams and I believe Boobie Gibson were like 2 of the players that stayed on that team. Unless if I can remember. Anthony Parker, I know, was on that team, but they lost 7 players. Varejao was not on the team. Varejao was injured all of that season in 2010, 2011. Zydrunas, LeBron took him out of Cleveland when he was contemplating retirement, and he joined the Miami Heat. They lost 7 players. Oh, Dwayne Wade, yes, he was on the decline. He had injuries, but still in 2011, he was still a top player. Still a top player. He was still a top player. It's just he wasn't scoring as much. And again, and the thing is, this tells you the leadership of Dwayne Wade. He deferred the keys to LeBron because it was this issue of my turn, your turn. I don't want to step on your toes. So they didn't have the great chemistry, and the quite honestly, they really didn't play well. They don't play well together. It's evident. With Spoelstra, they were able to make it work. So they implemented the LeBron system with his. So that's why LeBron had success in winning. But then he leaves Miami after the 4th year, because if you remember, during the regular season, Kyrie Irving came in a regular season game when he was with Cleveland, and he was playing against them. And LeBron was so impressed that he told Kyrie Irving, yo, you're doing real good things, man. I might be back there. Like, you just might not know. I might see you soon. When you're saying that to a player, you're indicating that it's quite possibly that you might end up going back and joining the team that he's on. LeBron even influenced and told management that they really should think about drafting Shabazz Napier. In 2014, when LeBron went back to Cleveland, once again, the fanboys are gonna go, oh well, when he left, Miami was just not they were not great. They were a lottery team, and it's like, again, but it's like you keep leaving out context. I remember Chris Bosh had signed a $110 million deal, and the thing is, if I remember correctly, Wade and Bosh were injured for most of that season. As a matter of fact, Bosh missed a key stretch of the season because he got blood clots in his lungs. I believe it was in his legs or his lungs. If I made that mistake, somebody can correct me. Somebody could correct me on my channel in the comments. But yeah, you're talking about 2 key players who missed a lot of time. The chemistry is going to be pretty bad. You're talking about 2 star players. You're telling me that the Heat are not going to struggle? But it's like, you guys never mention that. It's always when LeBron leaves, it's like the team just struggles. Like, you have to forget that wherever LeBron goes, his system goes with him too. And it's like, when are people going to understand that? And then Cleveland. It's like and that's what's happened with LeBron in these last 8 to 9 seasons. It's like now everywhere he goes, it's toxic, because you have his stupor fans, and then on top of that, you have the media. They follow him everywhere they go. And when things get upset. When things go wrong, it's never LeBron's fault. And I said the mark of a great leader is holding himself accountable. Wade is a leader because, again, he holds accountability, and this guy is very tough. He's very tough. And that's the problem with the environment. And it's like, again, when you play under the, and look why you think Kyrie Irving struggles so much. This guy even went to Kobe, which I knew Kobe was in his ear for the reason that Kyrie left too. It wasn't just that he wanted to go. Kobe was in his ear about it. And think about this, like Kyrie was traded on almost 2 occasions. And the thing was the ownership, Dan Gilbert. The problem with Dan Gilbert in his first run as Cavaliers owner, in LeBron's first run, he did not get LeBron the second star he needed. That was the problem. But his team was good enough. He needed a second star. That was the problem. The second go around, he did everything just about everything that LeBron asked for. And for people who are telling me that LeBron has no input in the organization, that's BS, because he does. He does. And that was also why I didn't like LeBron. It was like he was having so much influence and power in the organization. He picked the players he wanted. And every single time it was always, LeBron doesn't have help. He needs more cerebral players. I'm like, but you keep continuing to handpick these teams. So why are you complaining? And that was another reason why I started to to not like him. And it was like I was losing respect. I have a lot of respect for what LeBron has accomplished. Okay, this guy could have been a bust coming out of high school. He could have been. He was amazingly talented. Probably the most hyped NBA player to ever come out of high school. When he first came out, the fun thing I always said was, I hope LeBron has a long career. I hope he makes it into the Hall of Fame. And I said, I hope LeBron wins championships, and I hope he's an MVP. I said that. The thing is, over years has evolved. I've hated his personality, and I've hated the media that follows with him. It's like they just hang on every single word. As Kevin Durant has said, and this is why players don't want to play with him. And like Kevin Durant said, it's not LeBron James's fault. And I agree. What I wish LeBron James would stop doing is stop caring about what people think about him. And the thing is, because LeBron knows that, that's why he continues to cater. And he continues to play along. He continues to play along because he knows that the attention is going to be on him. And it's like, if I continue to do this, and it's like, quite honestly, and it's like, that's why, and this is why fans continue to be like, why does LeBron get so much hate? Part of it is him not taking responsibility, making up excuses. And then the thing is, the media, they multiply it times 100 with the excuses they make. And that's why it makes it hard for me to cheer for him. And I was a big fan of his in his younger days. But what he's become is why I lose respect for him. And this is not me critiquing LeBron as a man. So this is as a basketball player. As a basketball player, I wish he would just shut up and play basketball. And KD is right when he says this, that it's not just about basketball. Now, I know people are going to say, well, you see, Kevin Durant can't talk because he's this and that. Okay, but we're not talking about Kevin Durant. If we were talking about Kevin Durant, then I could just pull up and say, the things that Kevin Durant has done. Because Kevin Durant he's been pretty immature himself these last couple of years. And one part I agree with him because fans be taking it way over the top. But at the same time, it's like, KD's got to be a man about it. It's like he's very insecure in this, so you could tell. But with LeBron, it's just like, it's like the media can't even talk about the game. It's like, well, what do you think LeBron needs, to be able to do? And it's like, why is every word hung on LeBron? And that's why. There's too many groupies. And then everybody else has to get bashed because you're bashing the greatness of LeBron James. Nobody's bashing LeBron's greatness. They're bashing the fact that you media pundits continue to disrespect other players around the league. And the thing is, the other players are very good. They're good at what they do. They have a certain skill set. There's a reason why they're in the league. And Kevin Durant is right on all counts, no matter what you guys say, and I applaud Kevin Durant for that. This is the same Kevin Durant that when Kobe was getting disrespected by the media, yes, but the rape trial was on him. Yes, it was. The rape trial was on Kobe. And did Kobe recover? Yes, he did. But at the same time, again, Kobe was being disrespected by the media. And in his final season, when Kobe really had pretty much nothing to give left in terms of his body, in terms of playing more years, had he not torn his Achilles, Kobe probably would have still been playing right now. I said probably. I don't know for sure, but probably. Kevin Durant called out the media, and he literally said, man, you have one of the greats of our game and you're disrespecting him. And it's like now that he's retiring is when you want to be nice to him. And look at Kobe Bryant. After retirement, people tried to erase him from NBA history as if he never played. Never played. But now Kobe's kind of been relevant, like as of late, and he's trying to keep himself relevant. And it's kind of a don't forget about me type thing. But this is all created through the media. And again, and then the fanboys do the same thing, and then they just want to shit on Kobe and then just disrespect him. But Kevin Durant is absolutely right. So say what you want about KD, but when it comes to this topic, and that's the problem. And what I wish LeBron would do is to learn how to sacrifice to win. See, if he would actually get, and that's the problem, his ego just won't allow it. That's why LeBron is going to have this trouble all the time. And it's like, if I want him to win a championship, I want him to earn it, man. I want him to say that, you're the best. Not all this undermine shit. Like all of this shit just to get attention. And it's like you're getting it in the wrong way to where people criticize you. And then the fans are like, oh, why does he get hate? But the amount of love that LeBron gets, and even especially from you fans, bruh. Here's the thing. I don't care if you're a fan of LeBron James. I don't care about that. That's fine. The bottom line is try to be objective. Look, I'm not on here talking about saying I'm trying to get people to influence to try to be objective. I mean, if you happen to open your eyes and be objective about the game and about the players, that's perfect. What I want people to do more so than anything is hold players accountable, and that includes the top player in the game, in LeBron James. That's all it is. You do that, trust me, LeBron would actually be more respected and probably quote unquote less hated. LeBron is held to such a high standard. But the fact that you guys give him excuses every single minute of the day is why people don't like him. And then other players that would want to play with him probably, again, if they do an unbelievable job, it's going to be because of LeBron. And I'm like, well, LeBron's not getting rebounds, getting this and this and this and this. I'm like, LeBron didn't give him 20-some points. So it's like, oh, LeBron assisted on every single point that this player made. Or the blocks when LeBron plays free safety on defense. I mean, come on. So Kevin Durant, I salute you, man. Thank you for calling out people like Nick Wright, quote unquote Nick Wrong. Shannon Sharp. Listen, I love Shannon Sharp. The dude is funny as hell, but when it comes to LeBron, this homoerotic fetish that he has with him is just, it at times just gets creepy and out of line. Colin Cowherd. It's funny. I had respect for him and his analogies, but then it's like when it comes to basketball, it's like you got to stop talking. Stephen A. Simp. Like I said, I laugh when he talks loud, but it's like, and he gets all hyped up. But at the same time, it's like him, Max Kellerman, Jason Whitlock. Another thing, Chris Broussard. This is why I don't consider Chris Broussard a GOAT analyst, as people like to say, Chris Goatsard. Maybe that's their opinion, but here's my opinion. Chris Broussard has been a LeBron fanboy since I've seen him in the NBA. I don't care that Chris Broussard is a fan, but this dude constantly flip-flops. You got to remember, he works for the media too. It's like, oh, Chris always makes objective points. Go look at his early Cleveland days. I'm telling you right now, this dude was not doing that. Go even look at the 2017 offseason after the Cavaliers lost to the Warriors, and then they traded for Isaiah Thomas and got all those additions. If you go back to those videos, Chris Broussard was gloating on how the Cavaliers were going to win the championship. Or they were going to compete with the Warriors. Then they had such a bad roster. Dude was flip-flopping every second just like Nick Wright. And that's why I don't consider Broussard a GOAT analyst. This dude is another prisoner of the moment. No disrespect to Broussard, but that's just my opinion. I mean, if you don't like it, just deal with it. Sorry. It's just the way it is. Broussard is good at what he does. Nick Wright is good at what he does. Shannon Sharp. All these guys, again, they're in the media. Again, you pay respect to them. But it's like when it comes to basketball and just some of the biases that I just hear, it's just like, dude, you got to be kidding me. It's like, don't talk about basketball if you don't know about basketball. And another thing, this is another problem too, that Kevin Durant makes a point on, that he doesn't really make a point on. But again, the media, for example, Nick Wright, they put these imaginary stats. And I've seen in games where they put a stat, LeBron hit 11 fadeaways in the playoffs against the Raptors. Like, who keeps a stat like that? So what? Okay, he hit 11 fadeaways. Okay, fine. Other players have hit fadeaways. I mean, that's a big deal. you're making it seem like if LeBron invented that shot or something, when that fadeaway has been long in the NBA, long time. So like I said, LeBron is great, and it's not. And like I said, part of it is his fault because of some of his actions. And you need to look at, for example, you need to look at the things that he's been saying. He's been complaining, and it's like he's done an outcry to the media. So in one part, LeBron knows what he's doing. But at the same time, see, I can hold him accountable, but I'm telling you that LeBron is not the total blame. See, I'm not saying, oh, it's all LeBron James' fault. No, LeBron deserves blame. It's just nobody wants to, it's again, his stupid fans never want to hold him accountable, neither the media. The media is the biggest reason why people don't respect LeBron James. They're the biggest reason more than anything. LeBron, it's part of it is him, but mostly it's the media. So I disagree with Kevin Durant. Well, I first said that I had agreed with Kevin Durant that it's not LeBron's fault. No, it's some of his fault. I mean, just look at what he did at the end of the NBA Finals, Game 1 and Game 4. I mean, you just got to look at the tape. I mean, the lack of defense he played in the last two finals. I'm telling you, like, if LeBron had just played his heart out, and people are going to say, well, yeah, he did play his heart out. No, you need to watch carefully how the game was played. There are moments in the game where he's just coasting. And it's like, that's not the mark of a great leader. No matter how much LeBron has led. He's led his teams to the finals, yes, but they're not trash. They're not trash. I've said it many times. You cannot have a trash team with a top 5 defense. No, sorry. I'm sorry. He had very good defensive players on the Cavs. They were very good defensively with their defensive schemes. I don't want to hear that shit. The issue was having that second star, but the players are not trash. So people need to stop that shit. On top of the fact that the last 3 games of the 2010 Eastern Conference semifinals against Boston, Cleveland should have won that series. LeBron just stopped being aggressive. He's just stopped being aggressive. Look at Game 5, and you could clearly tell something was wrong with him. Clearly. And then it's like, again, and then Kyrie Irving has to deal with the fact that at the time when he was in Cleveland with LeBron, that Tyronn Lue says, oh, okay, you got to cater to LeBron. Stop worrying about your brand and cater to him. So any type of problem, it was like, you got to go to LeBron. We got to do everything to LeBron. You don't think that a great player who